Like you all know, the Straw Hat Pirate crew is related to strength and anything related to powers overall. Fighting is a major concept when it comes to One Piece because it helps the crew get stronger and get closer to their goal. They fight to save people and they also fight for other reasons. So in today's video, we're gonna go over the fights people are expecting before the end of the show and explain why some of them can or cannot happen, and also explain the power system. Let's go! To start, we need to ask ourselves who would be the crew's next toughest opponent. So the questions are, if the Straw Hats will fight the Marines, are Luffy's right and left hand man able to defeat an admiral, and what is Luffy's level based on their chief admiral Sakazuki? For people who think that the Marines' powers are not fully developed, I think you are not watching the right show. What was Marineford for? To believe that some people actually think that Kizaru cannot be defeated just because he got light speed, so no one can keep up with him, is actually crazy. If that's the case, then he is invincible and could defeat every menace right away. The Marineford arc was meant to show how powerful these characters are, and now they are easier to scale after it. Don't think that the Marineford arc was for Whitebeard, it was more of the Marines arc. It's not for nothing Oda let them survive after this. For example, Akainu, despite all the attacks he took from Whitebeard, he still survived. But we all know Whitebeard got weakened before he even started fighting, plus he was old and sick. People don't want to hear it, but it's a fact. I would clearly tell you this, Whitebeard in good and normal condition does not betrayed and sick would be different. You just have to take a closer look at Whitebeard's condition after Squarter's attack. He was tired and in a very dirty condition. Another thing would be his low haki. Let's just be honest, in regards to his haki, there was a huge problem. Marco even stated in Marineford that normally, Squarter's attack would never reach Whitebeard. Even when he was sleeping, he was able to dodge Ace's attacks and strikes. Even Crocodile was confused and was like, how is this possible? Whitebeard couldn't also use 100% of his Devil Fruit abilities because if he did, he would destroy the island and his crew members would be unable to avoid his attacks. Let's now take a break from all that and come back to it later. The guy who executed Roger was only able to do so because he didn't use haki. Normally, he would never be hurt by those blades. It's the same or even worse with Whitebeard's case. The Marines were able to attack him because he couldn't use much of his haki. So we see that everything was done for the Marines to still stand and impose its justice. That's why I said this arc was designated for the Marines, not for the Whitebeard pirates. Aokiji defeated Jozu because he froze him by surprise. Kizaru defeated Marco because he had handcuffs on. Plus Akainu had that advantage over Whitebeard because of everything we went through in this video. Everything Oda did in this arc was for the Marines to have advantage over these pirates.
Garp 戦国金獅子三者の戦いはマリンフォードの町を半壊させるまでに及び決着を見た。
So how about the final arc or saga? If Marineford was for the Marines, so how about the rest of the show? In my opinion, Marineford was for the Marines like I said, and the final arc would be for the world government. If the Straw Hats had to really fight the Marines, they will need two admirals to defeat Luffy. One good example throughout the show would be the Shiki vs Garp and Sengoku fight. Two Admiral level fighters against one Yonko level fighter to take him down. Let's ask ourselves the right questions here. If Garp was stronger than Shiki, then why would it require him all that hard work with Sengoku to defeat Shiki? Why was the base almost destroyed because of the fight? The reason is that the powers between the both sides were balanced. Eiichiro Oda actually presented to us the balance in the show. Now people have different views on how it actually works, however, it's really easy to understand. It's so simple to understand how the One Piece power system works. The whole marine forces are equal to one Yonko crew, and all Yonko crews are relatives, which means that if one side attacks the other, they're going to suffer losses, so they're all never going to attack the other. Also, don't forget that the Yonkos are not allied, which is the reason why the balance exists. We all seen what happened on the marine side when Big Mom and Kaido made that alliance. And let's take Marineford as an example to explain how the balance works. Whitebeard would never go to Marineford knowing that there are 5 to 6 Yonko levels in the opposition, plus the Marines have way more people. Whitebeard would never risk the lives of his family just to get one of them back. He was ready to die of course, but just because of that doesn't mean that he's the only one that needs to fight. He looks at Jozu and tells him you can handle Aokiji, but when Ace was trying to defeat Kaido, he immediately stopped him. I cannot say no because I don't have the power to decide that, so why not? But the real problem with him reaching it lies on his age and that he's supposed to be in his prime right now. It also took him 10 days to defeat Aokiji. That only shows how relative in strength these two are. For his age, passing from an Admiral level to Yonko level is complicated. Let's take another example from Shiki. He seemed confused when he was at Marineford and said how the Marines caught Roger. Just try to be in his position, then you would understand better. We are talking about the king of the pirates, Goldie Roger, the man who probably even defeated Roxy Zebek. I don't want to get into that discussion or debate, whatever you want to call it right now, because it will make this video longer, but I'll at least tell you 1 to 2 words about it. Garp and Roger's crew were the only important characters in God Valley facing the Rocks pirates, a crew that has 3 future Yonkos. If they fought the whole Rocks crew, then know that Roger should be fighting the main villain because that's how shonen works. If Rocks was the only one in that place, then yup, I could believe that they actually teamed up. But think about how powerful Roger was in his prime. Shiki said it was impossible and he is right. Goldie Roger himself led the Marines caught him. Now I want to talk about the Marine forces overall. I think a Yonko crew is equal to the whole Marine itself excluding the Shichibukais, which gives them a little advantage. Now that the SSG created the Seraphims, I'm assuming that those fighting machines could be stronger than the Shichibukais, which also gives the Marines more power and advantage over the Yonko crews. But normally, the Marines themselves can't defeat a Yonko crew easily. It will be an extreme fight with casualties on both sides. Luffy doesn't have interest in defeating the Marines, so there is little chance of them facing each other in an all-out war. But listen to me, for the Straw Hats, they need something bigger than the Marines themselves. Yeah, bigger and stronger. There are more chances of the Revolutionary Army to fight the Marines and win it. For the Revolutionary Army, Dragon, Shanks is kind of the same thing. We have characters here that were known ever since, so when those have to be involved in a fight, they have to win it. I'm not saying they can't lose, but seeing them win before they lose would make more sense. The Marines won the fight against Whitebeard and showed how strong and powerful they are. The next step for them is losing. The Marines could lose against the Revolutionary Army, but them facing the Straw Hats is also not bad. In that case, we'll have the Admirals facing the commander levels in the crew, so they'll have to send 2 Admirals in order to have a chance of winning. Now for the people thinking that Akainu could defeat Luffy, just send him. He's going to be exterminated. He can only have 1 chance of winning, and that's if Luffy is still traumatized. In Oda's masterpiece, we seem to notice some little weaknesses to every fighter. Let's take the Yonkos as an example. Big Mom's weakness is Mother Caramel. If her picture is destroyed, then you know what happens. For Kaido, it's Oden. Oden left that scar on him, which still traumatizes him. When the Scabards attacked him in chapter 986, they reminded him of Oden, which still hurt him. For Shanks is Blackbeard. When Shanks went to the Moby Dick, he insinuated that he had worse scars than the Blackbeard ones, but that one is the one that still hurts him. For Whitebeard, it's unknown, but he teased it in his discussion with Shanks. So my advice to you is to always pay attention to these small details, because that's the way to understand everything that's happening in One Piece better. I'm going to stop here for now. I hope you enjoyed this amazing discussion about the One Piece power system. I'm going to now give you a list of my unpopular opinions about One Piece following this, and you're going to tell me what you think about them in the comment section below. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, please subscribe to the channel and join the crew. Sayonara, see you soon.